All right, welcome back, you guys. Your favorite technical math class. We're going to take a look at linear and constant functions. So we're going to graph using the slope-intercept method, and then the intercepts method. We'll remind you about how we did that with the intercepts method from 4. I think that was L12, and graphing the constant functions as well. All right. So we've written equations with this slope-intercept form: y equals mx plus b. Again, m is that slope, b is that y-intercept. Let's go ahead and practice that on this first one, graphing with the slope and the y-intercept. So when you're in this form, g of x, remember g of x is just a nickname for y. So we've got y equals mx plus b. The first thing you want to do when you're graphing, if you're given it in slope-intercept form, is number one, identify what your y-intercept is, your b value. See how the b value here is 4? So your b is 4, your y-intercept, your b is 4. That's where it crosses the y-axis. So that's the point 0, 4. You're going to put that on the graph. So we're going to go ahead and put the y-intercept where it crosses the y-axis on the graph. Remember, we only need 2 points to draw a line, right? So now we're going to use the slope. Slope here, see how our slope is -3, the coefficient of x? Our m here is -3. Remember, slope is rise over run. So if it's -3, rise is the vertical change. That's your up or down movement. Now, since it's -3, I'm going to go down 3. And the run is the right or left, the horizontal change. So since it's +1, I'm going to go right 1. So I'm going to go down 3 from my y-intercept and right 1. And I'm just going to count it off. 1, 2, 3, down 3. Right 1, and I'm going to put a dot. And I can draw the line right through there. But I could keep going if I want to. Down 3, right 1, I put a dot. Down 3, right 1, I put a dot because my slope is -3. Since it's a negative slope, you see it going down 3, right 1, right? So again, we started at the y-intercept, and then I use my slope. Now, I do want to point out, isn't 3 over -1 still -3, right? I could go up and left from the y-intercept. I could go up 3 and left 1. You see how it's still on that line? Up 3, left 1. So that's the same thing, -3 over 1 or 3 over -1. Just make sure you use that accurately. Let's practice some more here. Here's another one, 1/5 x. So f of x equals 1/5 x. So y equals mx plus b. So number one, what's our y-intercept? Our b value here. See how that's 0? There is no plus anything there. So our y-intercept is 0. So I'm starting right here at the origin. I'm going to put a dot, my first dot right there at the origin. So it's 0, 0. Number two, our slope here is 1/5, yeah. So remember, this is rise over run. So I got 1/5. So is it up or down? It's a +1. I would go up, right? And then the 5, that's our right or left. Since it's +5, I'm going to go right 5. So I'm going to go up 1, right 5. Let's do it. Up 1, right 5. And I put a dot. And then I go up 1, right 5 if you want to put another dot. And you could draw that line right through there. Or if you want to, isn't negative over a negative a positive? Right? You could go down 1 and left 5 as well. Down 1, left 5, and it's also on that line, you'll notice. So there's the there's the graph of 1/5 x. This would be a good one to pause the video and have it be a you try it problem. We've got this slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. So number one, notice our y-intercept, our b here is that -2. See how our b is -2? So that's the point 0, -2. It crosses the y-axis right there at -2. Crosses the y-axis, y-intercept. Number 2, our slope here is -3/4. So is it up or down? Well, it's a -3. So I'm going to go down 3. And then is it right or left? I'm going to go right, +4. So down 3, 1, 2, 3, and right 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to put a dot right there. And again, or isn't 3/-4 still -3/4? I could go up and left from that y-intercept. I could go up 3, left 4, and see how that's still on my line there. So in some of the previous sections, we graphed using intercepts. Let's go ahead and revisit that again. Even though I'm in y = mx plus b form, it would be the exact same line, right, if I did this with the other method. So when we found our x-intercept, our y value is 0 anytime we cross the x-axis. When I find my y-intercept, my x value is 0, right? And that's how we found those. So let's go ahead and let y be 0 first. Y, which is f of x, right? F of x is a nickname for y. Now let's solve for x here. So I got -5 = -5 x. I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. So 3/-5, both sides. 3/-5. So I got 3 times -5, I got -15 over -5 times 1, -5. So I got x being 3. So there's my first point. X is 3. All right, that's where it crosses the x-axis. So I let y be 0. I solve for x. Now we're going to let x be 0. All right, I'm going to let x be 0 this time. So I've got f of x equals, let me come over here, f of x equals -5 x plus 5. Now I'm going to let x be 0 and solve for y. And I'm going to actually name that y. 0 times anything is 0, so I got 0 plus 5, which is just 5. So y ends up being 5. So 0, 5, put that on there, draw our line. We just need the 2 points through the x-intercept and the y-intercept to write the equation of the line. Now, had we done this with slope-intercept, number 1, we would have put on our y-intercept point, 0, 5, right there. And then number 2, we would have gone down 5, right 3, down 5, right 3, down 5, and right 3. See how it's that next spot right there? So either way you get it, right? But we're doing this, we're practicing this with x and y intercepts because it's not always in y = mx plus b form, like this one, x plus 2y = -4. That's a little awkward. So we're just going to go ahead and use our intercepts on this one. So let's let y be 0 first. X plus 2y = -4. Let's let y be 0 to find our x-intercept. So x ends up being -4. So I got the point -4, 0. Put that graph point on the graph. Now we're going to let x be 0 this time. Divide by 2, y ends up being -2. So when x is 0, y is -2. And I can draw the line through the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Let's graph one more. F of x equals -3. Remember, f of x is just a nickname for y. And notice there is no x values here, right? Y is always -3. So this goes back a couple sections. Let's point plot this. If y is always -3, it doesn't matter what our x is. There's no x to plug into anyways and solve. So you can let x be anything. So -2, -3, -1, -3, 0, -3, 1, -3, and so on. You're like, oh, that's right. Y = -3 is that horizontal line. where the y value is always -3. And by the way, our slope here is 0. Yeah, for a horizontal line. Let's do one more. We got time. Let's throw one more on there. How about if x equals 4? Right, x equaling a constant. Again, there's no x and y. X is always 4. Doesn't matter what your y is. You can let your y be anything you want. And you should see 4, -2, 4, -1, 4, 0, 4, 1, and 4, 2. If x equals a constant, you're always a vertical line, right? And a vertical line has a slope that is undefined. That's right. Yep. So thanks so much for watching, taking notes. See you next time.